My name is Adam Cox. I'm a phobia expert, also known as the Phobia Guru, based on my track record of being able to help people eliminate phobias in just a single session. Now, latrophobia is the fear of doctors or those who work in medical organizations. The fear of doctors can often be a learned behavior. So for those people that have this fear, it might be that a parent was very distrusting or very scared of visiting doctors or the hospital. And that can be passed down to a child that just learned to have that kind of negative association with doctors and perhaps even hospitals. The fear of hospitals, by the way, is a different phobia. The doctors themselves tend to be an authority figure in many cultures, and that can also be perceived that they have the power of life or death in their hands. Quite often, there are media stories of, let's say, botched operations, medical malpractice, misdiagnosis, and overall, as a result of that and social media feeds about doctors that just simply can't be trusted, that can amplify feelings of distrust and fear that they have so much power. In the UK, for example, there was a very famous serial killer, Dr. Harold Shipman, who was a doctor that actually contributed to the deaths of countless people under his care. And there's other stories of people that work in hospitals and surgeries that will actually, infect people or change medication quantities and things like that. So these kind of stories, while they may be true, are very, very rare, but they do not help people that have a fear of doctors because it validates their belief that doctors are a source of anxiety and fear. For others, it may be as a result of a sensitizing event. Now, that may be that as a child they were in an accident, or it might be that they were at school having vaccinations, and there was an overall association of seeing someone in a white coat deliver something to them, which then caused pain. That becomes then generalized, so even the thought of seeing a doctor creates a feeling of intense anxiety. Doctors themselves have created their own term for latrophobia, which can be white coat hypertension, and it's just a form of anxiety. Now, the medical profession itself is an interesting thing to think about here, because if you went to a doctor with a fear of doctors, they would label it anxiety, and doctors tend to, rather than treat the cause, they try and treat the symptom. So they would probably prescribe you with some type of anxiety medication, probably beta blockers, that itself will do nothing to get rid of the cause of the fear, and while you're feeling that anxiety, simply manage the symptoms, which in turn have their own side effects. So where possible, it doesn't make sense to manage the symptoms, it makes sense to break the pattern that is causing this fear to begin with. So the key thing that people tend to do that have a fear of doctors is they avoid doctors. Now, the problem with avoiding doctors is that the vast majority of doctors are competent, professional, and have the interests of their patients. Therefore, if you avoid doctors, you could be avoiding early diagnosis of some kind of medical issue. You may be carrying on with some kind of fixable ailment that could be eliminated or managed in a certain way. So there's this whole saying, prevention is better than cure. And also, if you have something, catch it early. But someone with a fear of doctors, someone with latrophobia, will avoid the very people that could help them. And that's why it's such a dangerous fear or phobia. Most of the people that tend to get in contact with me with this fear don't have it themselves, but they might have a child that has a severe anxiety attack or panic attack whenever they have to go to a doctor or a hospital. So for them, I would really urge you to help your child eliminate this phobia very, very quickly, because when they become an adult, this could be ingrained. So even if they have got a severe medical issue, they could avoid getting help at the very point where they need it most. So it's absolutely vital that this phobia gets eliminated. The kind of actual symptoms of the anxiety are things like heart palpitations, you know, the overall sense of dread, normally right in the gut, faintness, dizziness, all these kind of shivers, tears. In children, you're going to see lots of tantrums as well if they've got a fear of doctors. So overall, very, very unpleasant. The key thing is this fear can be eliminated and can be eliminated quickly. Most people that tend to work with me either one-on-one in my practice in Harley Street in central London, or they'll work with me via Skype. So using good quality cameras and microphones, it's almost like I'm there working with them. For other people, they might download my 7-day phobia elimination course, which is a combination of videos and audio downloads that helps attack the cause of the fear at every single level using a whole variety of different techniques, meaning that the fear can either be completely eliminated or reduced massively, so you can actually maybe not be free of the fear, but tolerate the very thing enough to get medical attention if you have this particular fear, for example. If you wanted more information on this, I have created a video explaining what phobias are, why we have them, and how to eliminate them. And that video is normally £30 or about $40 US, but that's available free of charge if you go to phobiaguru.com. Just put your name and email, and then you'll be able to get that video without any charge whatsoever, because that's going to give you some insight. And the knowledge behind a fear is the first step in defeating that fear. So well worth getting that video. It's completely free of charge. Go to phobiaguru.com. If you have a fear of doctors, or if you know someone that has a fear of doctors, maybe tag them in this video so they can learn that you don't have to have this fear. It can be eliminated. It can be eliminated quickly. And I hope this video has been of help.